So you've got sharks left over from your last movie. Better make a sequel. Deep Blue Sea 3. Yeah, they made a second one. This came out on July 28th, 2020. 21 years after the first film, which came out on July 28th, 1999. Nice touch. But before we get into it, make sure to check out my book, Chomp, which was written in time. Thank God. This is a killer shark book that I wrote, and I'd be honored if anyone would check it out and give me feedback on my second book, my first being Wild Man. The links to purchase it on Amazon on paperback and or Kindle are in the description below. Let's get into the review. The plot. So there's this fishing village called Little Happy that is visited by a research scientific hunting party who are trying to track down Bella's pups, and there's different agendas and shocking reveals that hide just underneath the surface. Pun intended. Who can survive the sharks? Well, it's pretty different from the first two, but does it still retain the good old qualities of the Deep Blue Sea franchise? Let's find out. First off, this is a solid production. Nice and slick. It could have easily gone to theaters, which is a huge compliment given its $5 million budget. Everything looks beautiful. Even the little dirty shanty town known as Little Happy. Everything looks, as I said, beautiful, but also exotic and mesmerizing. It has different shades of yellow and brown. You think that it'd make for an ugly location, but it works. The underwater shots are gorgeous. You really feel immersed in this different world. Everything is bright and light is bouncing off everything. Like even the CG sharks, when the light's bouncing off their skin, it's natural looking. It matches with the surface, which really works. Also, I'm a sucker for night shots in shark films. We have one that doesn't feature a ton of shark imagery, but it's still warm and cozy given the lighting and set decoration. You really feel this place has been lived in. It's a little happy slice of heaven. There's enough time and dedication to the characters to have them be developed and grow on you. I really liked a lot of the characters. Even the villains were enjoyable and had interesting characteristics, especially Lucas and his martial arts. Emma Collins, played by Tanya Raymond, I don't know if it's Raymond or Ramond or Raymond, who was also in Texas Chainsaw 3D, which had that great line, "Welcome to Texas, mother." Yeah, that was her. But she does a great job in this movie as the lead actress. She kind of starts off as a little bit of a bossy person. I'm trying not to swear, but, you know, she comes around and pretty quickly and becomes more likable as time goes on. Eugene Shaw, played by Emerson Brooks, is quite the kick-butt character. You know who he reminds me of a lot? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Not only in appearance, he kind of, but his voice especially. Really, his voice. If they made a game of the movies that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was in, if they couldn't get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they could easily get Emerson Brooks. The as-before-mentioned Lucas, played by Bren Foster, is awesome as the main villain. He, really knows how to kick butt. There's a great fight scene between Eugene and Lucas, and it's just, there's a lot of hard punches, and kicks, and spinning kicks, and swinging fists, and it's awesome. That does take away from some of the shark action, though, which is a bit disappointing, but we do get a lot of shark carnage near the end, which was satisfying. And also, Bren Foster is a martial artist in real life. Richie Lowell, played by Nathaniel Bozolek, is kind of, I don't know how else to describe him as other than weak, but Not in his acting, but in his decision making. Like, he tries to be all tough, but he really just comes off as one of the bully's victims. Like, Lucas and him have a few moments where they're trying to one up each other, and Lucas is obviously more of like a kick-butt character. And when he's talking to Richie, he's like, just smiling like, I could take this punk easily. But I did end up liking Richie near the end. He kind of walked that fine line between good and bad really well. Mia, played by Renee Aoy, I think. I have to say, not like in a sexual way or anything, but she's really cute. She's like just trying to be funny, and it comes off as adorable. She has some funny lines, I'm not gonna lie. The humor in this is pretty good, and I think Mia contributes a good amount to it. She's a Japanese character who is trying to keep track of the sharks and everything, and the actress who played her, Renee Aoy, this is her first American film, I believe, which is pretty cool. Spin, played by Alex Bott, is like the comic relief, but he's actually kind of funny, which is rare in comic relief movies. They're usually kind of annoying, but he isn't too pushy with his jokes, and he comes off as kind of a sweetheart, which was nice. I liked the characters, and didn't want to see them die. One I did see coming because of the trailer, and when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, come on. Maybe they changed it. Maybe he's not actually going to die. Maybe it's just a fake shot for the trailer. No, he died. There were also a couple of surprise deaths that harken back to the shock value of the first movie. I didn't expect those characters to die, and when they did, it was shocking, and one in particular died rather early. Not exactly like 20 or 30 minutes in, but like around an hour in. It's like, he died so early. The gore, the effects. As some of you probably know, I was a bit worried about the MPAA rating. Some violence and bloody images. What's that? That's not much. It seems rather light. However, there's some good gore here. We get a sweet decapitation, a gnarly body ripped in two with the entrails hanging out, another body ripped apart underwater, kind of like Samuel L. Jackson in the first Deep Blue Sea, a bloody explosion, and a gruesome crushing sequence that I will not spoil. The effects aren't even a mixed bag. For like 95% of this film, they're actually pretty solid, especially for a low-budget venture. Funny story, I asked my mom after we watched this movie how much she thought this film cost to make. And I told her the first one was like 60 million, the second one was probably a little bit less than 4 million, and she's like, oh, maybe 120 million. I was like, 5 million. That's funny. But she also thought it could have easily gone as a theatrical release. The motion picture soundtrack, Mark Killian, who also composed Shark Killer, which is an action shark movie, which is pretty enjoyable, composes some perfectly fitting music for this movie. It adds to some of the awe-striking visuals, as well as amps up the tension a few times. It's kind of reminded me of Tom and Andy's scores for the 47 Meters Down movies. That's a compliment, by the way. This was a solid shark movie. There are some issues I have with it. It's quite hand-fisted about some topical issues, and I discovered one thing that could have halted the movie's progress from the very beginning. If you want to know what it is, ask for a spoiler review, and I'll see if I can do one. Depends on how many people comment saying they want a spoiler review. Still, the movie happened, and I'm glad it did. I also have an idea for a sequel, but I can't tell you because it would spoil the ending of this movie, so I'd have to do it in a spoiler review, so let me know if you want a spoiler review in the comment section below. I enjoyed every movie in this franchise, from the subpar to the above average. Overall, I give Deep Blue Sea 3 a fitting 3 out of 5. Thank you all for watching, and I am Brian Gatto, the horror show host. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon, where even $1 a month will help keep this channel going on strong, and I'd greatly appreciate it. You'll also get access to my body counts and music videos that you can't get on YouTube because of copyright and age restrictions. Also hit that notification bell, and as always, subscribe.